So good day everyone, I'm Vince Joseph Cleofas and we're gonna answer all the following questions, including first, what's the article all about? Next, the comparing and contrast active and passive attacks. And lastly, what is our recommendations to prevent this kind of attacks? And we're gonna give brief discussions as well about the active attacks versus the passive attacks by Hassan N. So without further ado, let's do it.
The article highlights the risk of being online, emphasizing various computer threats. These threats can be damage system, stealing credential, or invade privacy by tracking online activities. Cyber attacks are categorized into passive and active attacks. Passive attacks involve quietly monitoring system and collecting information without altering data. These attacks are hard to detect but can mitigate through encryption by limiting public exposure and sensitive information.
So, active attacks naman. So, pag sinabing active attacks occur when hackers use information gathered during passive attacks to compromise a system or network. So, tulad nga lang sinabi kanina, ang passive attack is isa siyang way na kung saan yung attacker is kumukuha ng information about dun sa system na i-attack niya. So, dun sa part na yun, kumukuha pa lang siya ng information pero hindi niya i-alter yung data. So, dito na papasok yung active attack na kung saan nakuha niya ng information, ang gagawin na lang niya is i-alter niya na yung data. So, dito niya nagagawin yung deed. So, active attacks alter data and can grant unauthorized access, often causing more harm. The article stresses that everyone is a potential target and should take cybersecurity seriously to prevent attacks. So, that would be all for our active attacks.
Hello, my name is Nelson Moriya and today we'll be talking about passive and active attacks. I'll be starting off with comparing the two attack similarities and we'll be moving forward to what is a passive attack, as well as the advantages and disadvantages of a passive attack. So, passive and active attack differ in their approach and impact. Passive attack aim to gather information without altering the system, making them harder to detect, such as eavesdropping or traffic analysis. Active attacks, on the other hand, involve modifying or disrupting systems, like data tampering or denial of services, and are easier to detect due to their nature. Both types are malicious, targeting unauthorized access to data and require security data measures like encryption and firewalls to prevent. Despite their differences, both share the goal of exploiting vulnerabilities in a system. A passive attack is a cyber attack where the attacker intercepts or monitors data without altering the system, making it hard to detect. The goal is to gather sensitive information such as passwords or communication details, often for the future malicious actions. Common types include eavesdropping, where data is intercepted, traffic analysis, which monitors communication patterns, and shoulder surfing, where someone physically observes someone's screen or keystrokes. These attacks primarily target confidential information and are often used for reconnaissance before a more aggressive action. When it comes to advantages and disadvantages of it, passive attacks have the advantage of being difficult to detect, allowing attackers to gather information over time with minimal risks, making them useful for reconnaissance. However, they are limited to information gathering and do not provide immediate control, direct damage to the system. Additionally, passive attacks rely on data being transmitted in a way that can be intercepted, which can be mitigated by secure communication methods like encryption. Now, I'll be passing it to Mr. Cardona to talk about the contrast of the two attacks as well as what's an active attack all about. Thank you.
So, next naman po is ang active attack. So, ito ay isang uri ng pag-atake kung saan sinusubukan ng attacker na baguhin o i-modify ang nilalaman ng mga data. Di tulad doon sa passive attacks na kung saan nakikinig o nagmamasid lang ang attacker. Dito sa active attacks, ang mga attacker ay talagang nagkakaroon ng aksyon para magdulot ng pagbabago o pinsala sa system nila. Active attacks immediately disrupt systems, manipulate data, and halt services, potentially causing serious damage to organizations. These attacks threaten data integrity and critical systems but are easier to detect due to their disruptive nature, um, which can lead to legal consequences if the attacker is caught. Additionally, active attacks require more resources, skills, and effort, making them more difficult to carry out compared to passive attacks. So, next naman is ano ba yung main difference ng dalawang ito? So, the key difference between active and passive attacks is the approach. Active attacks involve tampering with or disrupting the system, causing immediate impact such as data corruption or service interruption. In contrast, passive attacks gather information without altering the system, remaining hidden and harder to detect. Active attacks are more aggressive and easily detectable, while passive attacks are stealthier and used for data collection. So, that's it.
Hacking attacks are a real threat, but with a simple few steps, you can protect yourself. Here are the 5 ways to prevent hacking and keep your data safe. Password. First, let's talk about password. One of the easiest way a hacker can break into your account is through a weak password. Make sure your password includes a combination of uppercase and lowercase letters, numbers, and symbols, and don't use same password across multiple platforms. Two-factor authentication. Next, enable two-factor authentication. This adds an extra layer of security by requiring a second form of identification. Regular updates. Always keep your device up to date. Hackers exploit vulnerabilities in outdated software. Regular update patch these security flaws. Antivirus and anti-malware. Install trusted antivirus and anti-malware software. This will detect and remove any malicious program trying to gain access to your system. Avoid phishing attack. Be cautious of phishing attack. Don't click on suspicious link or attachment in emails. Always verify the source before interacting with any messages. By following this tip, you significantly reduce the risk of hacking and protect your personal information.
让不要急，让你习惯。